Now, let's try to understand the same thing in a more clear manner. Suppose it is a bank and you are going to deposit money in the bank. So if you deposit the money in the bank, the interest would be very low. It will be around the 4% of the money. Whatever the money you have deposited in the bank, in your bank account, the interest rate would be around 4% in the State Bank of India or the Punjab National Bank, or whatever the money, it will be around the same interest rate all over the India. The interest rate of every bank will be around the same, around 4%. But whenever you are withdrawing the money in the form of loan, the interest rate would be much higher according to the type of loan which you are taking. So if you are taking a credit from the bank, the interest rate would be very high, around 13% to 20%. Why the interest is varying? Because according to the loan, the interest rate varies. If you are taking a home loan or the car loan, the interest rate would be around 13 to 14%. But if you are taking a personal loan or the business loan, which is very risky to pay in the bank, the interest rate may be higher. So these are the different type of interest which is imposed on taking a loan from the bank. So the bank works as a mediator between those who have excess money and those who are in need of the money. So I hope that this concept is clear for everyone. So let's move to understand. So whatever we have discussed is written here. The rate of interest on loan is higher than the rate of interest the bank offers on the deposits. Deposits means the cash, whatever the money you have deposited in your own bank account. So the difference between the amount earned from the borrowers to the given and to the depositor is the main source of income for the bank. The difference between amount earned from the borrower to the amount given to the depositor is the main source of income of the bank. I hope that it is clear for everyone. We have discussed it in a clear manner. So now the credit situation. The credit also means the loan. The loans. Loans are also known as the credit. Loan means it is a kind of an agreement in which the lender supplies the borrower with money or with goods or services in the return for promise to pay in the future. So loan is very important thing. We need loan to start a business or to purchase any commodity, to purchase home or car, we require loan. So loan is also very important thing to start our business or to purchase any kind of home or car. So it is a kind of the agreement. So we can take the loan from the bank because the interest rate would be reasonable if we take a loan from the bank. So this loan is a kind of constructive also, as well as it can be destructive also. If you are taking a loan and at the reasonable interest, then it will be good. But if you are taking a loan from the merchants or from the money lender at the higher rate of interest, it is not good. It can be destructive also. So there are two examples which will help you to understand how the credit works. So let's understand about that. So here we are going to discuss about two persons. One person is Salim. It is also given in your textbook. You can read after watching the video, you can read your textbook also. So one person is Salim. So he took a credit to meet the requirement, the capital requirement of the production of the shoe. So Salim is a shoe manufacturer. In the festive season, during the time of the festivals, he got an order to create 3,000 pair of shoes. So in order to achieve that production and to meet that requirement, he need the raw material as well as the extra workers. So he took a loan from the bank, and he got the loan from the bank, and the loan helped him to meet the ongoing expenses of the production. With the help of the loan taken from the bank at the reasonable rate of interest, he employed more and more workers, and he also purchased the raw material, and he was able to achieve that production, and after selling the shoes he got lot of money, and his earnings was also increased. So credit helped the people to continue their business as well as to extend their business. So the loan activity is very important, and that is why the government has instructed the bank to issue loans to the common people at reasonable or low rate of interest, so that the common people can do their business. So in this case, the loan is profitable for the shoemaker. Now another case we are going to discuss, that is the Sapna's case. The Sapna is an agriculturalist. So she is a small farmer, and for agriculture activity to purchase the seeds and the fertilizer, she took a loan from a money lender at the higher rate of interest. So whenever you are taking the loan from the bank, the rate of interest would be low. But if you are taking a loan from the money lender, the rate of interest would be higher. He can charge any kind of rate of interest, even 30% or 40%, which is very expensive. So in Sapna's case, her crop failed, and that is why the repayment of the loan was impossible. Because of the flood or drought situation, the crop production of Sapna failed. She suffered a loss in the production of the crops. So in order to pay back that loan, she had to sell her land. So it also deteriorated her condition. It was a disastrous for Sapna to pay back the loan. So it is called the debt trap. The debt trap means even you are unable to pay the debt. Even if you are paying the debt, you are again involved in another kind of debt. Now, because of this loss, once again to do the agriculture activity in the next year, Sapna has to take the loan, and she is getting more poor. So that is called the debt trap. So under the debt trap, the farmers become more and more poor. They are unable to pay the loan taken from the money lender. If you are taking the loan from the bank, it will be easy and the interest rate would be lower. But whenever you are taking the loan from a money lender, it will be very costly because the rate of interest is very high. So I hope that the two situations are clear for everyone. So let's do some activity. So in the first column, if you try to understand, to increase the production of the shoes, why did they need the credit to increase the production of the shoes? The Salim took loan to increase the production of the shoes, and Sapna took the loan to buy seeds and fertilizers for agriculture activity. Now what was the risk? The risk was unable to pay the debt and will suffer loss. Here is also the risk, because if you are unable to pay the debt, you have to suffer the loss. Now what was the outcome? Able to pay the debt, Salim was able to pay the debt and Sapna was unable to pay the debt. Now see the second one. Supposing Salim continues to get the order from the traders, what would be his position after 6 years? After 6 years he will become more rich, because he is getting more and more order, and by taking the credit from the bank, Salim is able to meet his requirement and he is able to make money. He is able to make profit after selling the commodity. Third one, what are the reasons that make Sapna's situation so risky? Because the interest rate, because Sapna took the loan from a money lender, the interest rate was very high, and to pay that interest along with the principal, Sapna had to sell a piece of land. So I hope that this table is clear for everyone. So let's move to our next. Now the terms of the credit. So whenever you are taking if you are deciding to take loan from the bank, there are two requirements that should be fulfilled. One is the rate of interest. Interest rate, if you are taking the loan from a money lender, the interest rate would be much higher. Now, if you are taking the loan from the bank, the interest rate would be lower. At the lower interest rate, you can take the loan from the bank. Now, from the money lender, if you are taking the interest, if you are taking the loan, the interest rate would be too high. Any kind of interest rate he can impose on you. Another one is called the collateral. To take the loan from the bank, you need the collateral. Without collateral, bank will not give you the loan. But if the money lender knows you, he can give you the loan even without the collateral. The collateral means the security, that whatever the money you are taking, you have that property to pay back that loan or not. So collateral, without collateral, the bank will not give you money. So this collateral is required to take loan from the bank. So the collateral means the security. I hope that this is clear for everyone. Without collateral, the bank will not give you money, either in the form of asset, in the form of land, or in the form of home. You should have that money to pay back the amount and the principal, the interest and the principal amount. So I hope it is clear for everyone. Now, sources of credit, from where you can take the loan. So one is the money lender and the local traders, the banks and the cooperatives. So this is the third one. So cooperative is also called the self-help groups. So we will discuss it in our next slide. So the first one is the money lender. If you are taking the loan from the money lender, the interest rate would be very high. But if anybody is taking the loan from the bank, the interest rate would be reasonable. It should be according to the loan instructions given by the RBI. So the bank has to follow the rules and regulations given by RBI on issue of the loans. Now the money lender is not answerable to anyone. He can impose any kind of interest rate upon the people. The third one is the cooperative. The cooperative means the self-help groups. It is a group of 25 to 30 people in a village. Suppose in a village 25 to 30 people opened a cooperative society, opened a society in which everybody is contributing money, and if anybody has a requirement, he can take the money without any collateral. So that is called the cooperatives. We will discuss in detail in our next slide. So I hope that the sources of credit is clear for everyone. So if any question asked, what are the sources of the credit? These are the three sources of credit. I hope it is clear for everyone. Now we are going to discuss about the formal and informal sources of credit. So there are main two sources of taking the loan. One is called the formal sector and another one is called the informal sector. So the formal sector means the taking loan from the bank and the cooperatives. So any kind of bank, it can be the ICICI bank or the state bank, any kind of commercial bank, if you are taking the loan, it will be under the formal sector. The formal sector of the bank, so the formal sector of the credit follows the rules and regulations of RBI. But informal sector of credit, in the informal sector, the money lender, the trader, employer or friends are included in the informal sector of taking the loan. In the informal sector, the RBI don't control. The RBI don't have control over the informal sector of taking the loan. Now another demerit, another difference between the formal and the informal sector is that in the informal sector, the interest rate may be much higher. If you are taking a loan from a money lender, he may charge even 30 to 40% of the interest rate. But if you are taking the loan from the formal sector, he will charge the loan according to the guidelines of the RBI. Any bank cannot charge higher rate of interest not following the rules and regulations of RBI. So this is the basic difference between the formal sector and informal sector of credit. I hope it is clear for everyone. Now, formal sector should be made beneficial to the poor. How? Actually, the banks are called the formal sector, but they need the collateral to issue the bank, and the poor people and the poor farmers may not have the collateral to take the loan from the bank. Another thing, to take the loan from the bank, you have to follow the formal process, and if a small farmer is uneducated, he may not know about the formal process to take the loan from the bank. So the bank don't want to give the loan to the poor farmers, because the agriculture is a game of gambling. If any kind of flood happens or drought happens, then the farmer, the peasants, the farmer may suffer the loss, and he may not be able to pay the debt or the loan taken by the bank, taken from the bank. So the bank don't want to give the loans to the poor people and the farmers, and that is why it is instructed from the RBI, so that the bank have to give the loan to the farmers so that they can do their agriculture activity. And that is why the formal sector should be made beneficial for the poor, because the bank don't want to give their loan to the poor people. So these are the methods so that the bank can give their loan to the poor people. How the bank can be beneficial to the poor? If the bank give their loan to the poor people, it will be a help for them. Another thing, so it is a first method so that the bank can help the poor people by giving them loan. The loan should be cheap credit to the poor. The banking loan should be cheaper, the interest rate should be cheaper, so that the poor farmers and the poor people could pay back the interest as well as the principal amount. The number of the banks should be increased in the rural area to help the small farmers. You have seen that in your village area, in any remote village area, the banks are not there. In many of the cases, the banks are located in the urban area. In the rural area, the banks are not there. So the number of the banks should be increased in the rural area so that the poor farmers can take the help of the bank to issue the loans. So the banks should be accessible to the poor people, and that is why the number of the banks should be increased in the rural area. Now, these are the three main methods so that the formal sector can be made helpful to the poor people. Now let's talk about the self-help groups.